I'll call the meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. on March 27th. We're here for a special meeting for the Development Review Board to continue application 2402. So, welcome everybody. If we could start off by introducing ourselves, I'll start. My name is Lucy Thayer. I'm the Development Review Board Chair. Maybe start Joyce, go this way.
Joyce Barbieri, alternate.
Elizabeth Blaisdell.
She's trying to get
Dave.
in. I think she's trying to get in over there. Can you get
Dave Ballou, the vice chair.
She's going that way. She's probably coming this way.
Yeah.
Perpetual board member.
Yep, she did.
Sorry. It's okay, we've just started. All right. Yeah, can you also sign in the sign-in sheet, please? Thank you. All right, so we have all introduced ourselves. Let's move on to item 2, a review of the meeting agenda. Does anybody have any revisions to this agenda as written?
If we could, after the deliberative session, or is that where you want to?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Do the March 20th meeting minutes.
Okay, review and or approve or edit the minutes of March 20th.
Right.
Of 3:20. Does anybody have any other revisions or additions to the agenda? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
I will make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we also have a note taker that's not me today? Do we have a kind volunteer that would do it? Because I did it last time.
Don't look at me. I don't do notes.
Anybody? You guys really gonna make me do it again?
You did a very good job.
I'll second that.
Okay, well let's finish. Sorry, I got distracted by the fact we didn't establish that. So all in favor of approving the agenda as revised to include the minutes of 3:20, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the revised agenda is approved. And it sounds like I'm taking minutes, again, very reluctantly. And I hope that somebody steps up next time so I don't have to do both, run the meeting and write the minutes. So, item number 3, continuance of application 2402, Wallingford Village Market LLC from March 20th, last Wednesday, 2024, for conditional use to open a village market consistent with the site plan attached to the permit, construction permit for the general layout of the market under permit 22-45. So we're gonna I guess it's not opening the hearing, but it's kind of continuing the hearing. We'll reopen it for tonight, which we've just done. There's no new people to give testimony, so you folks already swore in last time, so you don't have to redo that. I believe we left it where you were going to provide us additional information specifically about the sign. Can you tell us, you did provide us some additional information, can you tell us what you provided?
All the measurements for the design and the placement of the sign on the block. And also the exterior site plan that you asked for.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
At the very bottom.
Oh, yes, in the sign package information.
Yes.
Yes, that was very helpful. Do folks have questions about the information provided? Do you want to explain it at all or give us any information about what you have? Also, I believe you provided a letter from Michelle Kinney.
Yes.
I guess I'll just go ahead and read it just so we can enter it into the record. It is dated March 25th, 2024 to the attention of the Development Review Board, the Wallingford Village Market Zoning Permit application. Dear DRB, please accept this letter as confirmation that Monica Delorme, as owner-operator of the Wallingford Village Market, is an authorized designated agent of the Wallingford Block LLC for purposes of the market zoning permit application. If I can be further assistance, please advise. Thank you, Michelle Kinney, owner, Wallingford Block LLC. So that was It's been entered into the record. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us about the sign or anything that Michelle passed on aside from this letter?
It's all
You can go ahead and describe it though. That would just like, you know.
for the record. So the plan that Monica sent that I prepared is based on the dimensions, the proposed dimensions of the sign, which fall within it's a little over 7 square feet at these dimensions. And the bottom of it is roughly at the height of the top of the windows of the plate glass windows on the front of the store at 8 feet above the 8 feet mark. So we did a rendering of how the sign is expected to look in situ. The sign has obviously not been made yet, pending approval. But there's a view from the south and sort of a view from if you were standing in front of the market under the sign. And then just a schematic to show where the current signage for the sweet birch is, and then the proposed market sign as it would be on the front of the building.
And it is a projecting style sign.
And it is a projecting style sign, and there is existing lighting. If you look at the second photograph that says rendering of the sign in situ viewed at northwest corner of the block, showing existing lighting. So no additional lighting is required because that lighting will cast enough on the sign to see it. It doesn't need to be, unusually bright.
So no additional lighting?
No additional lighting. It's fortunate that the placement just happens to be between 2 existing lights.
Is that, in the picture, there's a light on the right, are those bulbs going to be turned towards the sign, or are they going to be facing down always?
The sign will be downlit.
Well, the lights are downlit. It's ambient light for the sign, basically.
And you're not proposing any adjustment change? Yep.
No. There's not really any need for it. Even a downlit sign provides enough illumination against a building to reflect on a sign. It's within literally 2 feet of the sign in either direction.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
It can get pretty dark out in the winter. I don't know.
There's street lights and
Is there one
there are
wall
street
or
lights and the idea is not to have a neon sign. The idea is just so that if people who don't know there's a market there know it's there. It's not going to be illuminating. It's not an entrance illumination. It's a sign illumination. And
Well, as a business, you want people to know you're there, so you light the sign.
yeah, it's a little hard to miss with the light right there and street lights right immediately in front of it. I think it's designed to do that. That will be very visible. They are literally right by the sign. If the
Is there
board
one bulb
thinks
in that fixture or 2?
there's one in each fixture
Okay.
currently. If the board thinks that there should be more,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but we took a pretty good look at where the lights are, where they reflect, because we've been at the building both in the daytime and the nighttime. And it was deemed, at least given the lights that are there, that it should be adequate for the signage.
And you also have the sconce on the wall too, that's gonna light
You
up
have
something.
those 2 sconces, and you have
Yeah.
another sconce by the entrance.
Yeah.
So it's not as though the entrance will be dark. And of
Yeah.
course, if the store is open, it will be brightly lit.
Right.
It is fully illuminated. So, and then the street light provides plenty of light. There are several street lights and a stoplight. They're there for anyone who would need to access the space.
Is this the only sign you're having?
You mean fixed?
Signage.
Yes.
Okay, nothing in the windows or over the door? Or?
If there's anything in the windows, it would be adhered to the windows, just like the sweet birch has done. in there where they have their pastries and baked goods, it would sort of have appropriate to the market wording. There are still considerations with shades and light to determine whether that even happens. Does the board require oversight on that? There are several stores in town that seem to have put up window decals. Does the board require permitting for that?
It's like an Erica question. For window signs, our regulations say on page 26 that window signs may cover up to 25% of the total window area per establishment on the side of the building where such signs are located. Area shall be measured by the size of imagery of an imaginary polygon surrounding all symbols if they were in a single sign. Window signs shall not be installed on any windows that serve also as emergency egress.
Okay, not a problem. So in other words, they don't require additional permitting as long as they fall within those guidelines. As I hear what you're saying.
I think I'm a little less concerned about the window signs than the.
Yeah, Jill was asking.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to answer as best I could under the circumstances.
So I'm gonna go back to that light fixture, so I can see a potential, it's lit but not as bright as we want, so turning that bulb, I haven't seen the fixture, but I know that some of them you can turn.
I think these are adjustable.
But hear me out.
Okay.
But my question is, if it's turned, then it's going to be, if the wind's blowing, whatever, that light's gonna go beyond the sign and into the traffic. And that's our concern is, visuals for motorists.
Right, I understand.
So that's my, I just don't want to see 6 months from now.
But our
all of a sudden
intention is
it's-
not to turn the sign.
What's that?
The intention is not to turn the lighting.
Well, I'm just saying there's a potential for that if you find, people say, well, they really can't see our sign, or it's not as bright as we want.
But wouldn't they not be in compliance if we specify that it must be downlit? So then they would kind of be violating the permit? What do you think
We
of
wouldn't
that?
do that.
If we specify that it must be downlit in the permit and they changed it, then they would be violating the permit?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think so?
I know, because we've had so much discussion about lighting and motorists, especially at this spot.
Sure.
Does anyone know were those lights already there?
They are already there.
I mean, they were already there.
Yeah.
They've been there.
They are on the building as we speak.
No, but I mean, I think they were there when Sal's sign was there.
Oh, yes.
So those are the signs, the original signs. I mean, lights, right?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this sign is all new. It's going to be projecting way the heck out further than whatever was there before, which was out on the post. So this is a whole new consideration.
So what you're concerned that they might come back to have the lights bigger?
No, just like.
Change
if-
the direction.
If you can see it, but it'd be nicer if it was brighter from, traffic coming up to the building. Oh, let's pull in there, but if it's not quite bright, you can turn those bulbs so they. would hit
But
the
that
sign
would be
a little
out of
more.
compliance,
That's
correct?
my concern, is
Right.
that it would go beyond the sign and into the intersection or motorist or whatever, That's all.
So in other words, stay in compliance with
Yeah.
whatever is permitted.
Yeah.
So
So that's
this needs
not
to be
as-
facing down.
Yeah, we'll specify, yep.
Right, so that's not an issue.
That's
right now.
that's very typical for us.
Of course,
to
that makes perfect
request.
sense to not impede on motorist
Okay.
view.
Okay.
Say-
What other questions do folks have?
Other than the signs?
Well, yep. This is the time to ask any questions or,
I have a question.
sure, go for it.
So, it said that this space is built to suit. What's the perimeters of that? Is she just putting up the walls where you want them? Or is this her restaurant?
The walls are being put where it was requested based on the floor plan.
Okay, and is this your equipment or her equipment? Okay.
The market's equipment, the market's a tenant, and everything inside is the market's. The walls were put up basically in order to have outlets for refrigeration. So they were not, it was just part of
Because
the.
built to suit could mean A to Z, who knows, you know?
Built to suit,
Built-
considering there's a market going in and we have a very specific floor plan and for all of our equipment, yes.
I didn't know if Michelle had an idea of putting a market there and you're just filling that space, I don't know.
No.
It's my job to ask all these questions.
No, awesome. No, this was, I'm going to be renting from Michelle. I'm the owner of the market and
Okay,
the-
so those are your coolers. Those are your walk-in coolers and, okay. That's what I want to
No
know.
walking coolers.
Did you have a question, Joyce?
No, I hope you have a million customers.
thank
Yes.
you. We do too.
But my concern is, where are they all gonna park? You have to have some kind of a,
That's. the
I know,
building owner's
how,
plan.
I mean,
I guess my question is, how is it different from when Mr. Perry had
It's not.
the grocery store, right?
Across the street.
across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the barber shop is.
Yeah. There's actually more parking where the market is, because there's a whole side of the building and there's School Street. And let's face it, people will park at the library as they did when there was Perry's there. It's free public parking everywhere, so it's not like it can be, there's probably more of it than by Perry's.
I think the more challenging part that I don't think we have any control over this, but the handicap accessible access is, I think, worse than it was before. A ramp was removed and now you have to park off street only. So I know for folks that want to come off of School Street, but I don't know that we have any control over that because that's not what this application is for.
That's right, that's not, our application is just for the use of signage.
And there is an ADA accessible piece, but I thought that was, I guess, just a little disappointing to reduce the access from School Street. But parking, I don't know, Joyce, that we've got any other, because we've had other projects come up and I don't know that we've got any control over.
No, I didn't mean to, I was thinking there's some way that we could help, but I can't think of any magical poof
Yeah.
parking lot.
No, we would like a magical poof parking lot too. It will be a good problem to have.
How far off the building does this frame come out, like from the sign to the building? Do you have any idea?
It should be written out there, I'm sorry. The roof projects a little over a foot, so it's really to be, and you can see that it's curved. The idea is that it's as close to the projection. So what you're looking at, if you look at the block, do you see the overhang between the first and second floor? That's what that side projection is, and I think it says it. Roof projection above first floor. So Jill, if you look at the first photograph that shows the market sign, it's really right there against, just about against the,
Whatever that thing's called.
yeah,
The
fancy
soffit.
fascia.
It's
The
like a
fancy
portable or
fascia.
something?
Yeah, yeah.
So that the sign's 32 inches, is it another 12 inches to the building, or is it another 20 inches to the building? Do we know what the dimensions of that
I
frame
want to
is?
say the roof projection is a little over a foot total, so.
Maybe 15
We're
inches.
doing the best we can do and still hit all the right places. There's nothing to be done about the building's, architecture.
Do you know the size of the,
That we were leaving that to the sign developer because,
because that would tell from here.
well,
to here.
yeah, but I would say that it's got to clear the, ideally it will be literally as close to that and as close to that projection as possible. And the curved top allows for a little of that, but the height requirement also means it has to stand off a little bit because it wouldn't, if it were low enough to be pushed in closer to the building, it would be too low for the 8 foot
Yeah,
above
sure.
the ground. We're trying to hit every sort of safety issue, but I think that particular bit of engineering the building owner was going to provide, because they're creating the sign, they're building the sign. So,
So I'm figuring it's about
so if you,
4 feet out from the building.
I was gonna say that, that sounds about right. And given the size of the deck, it's fairly well in from the corner of the street, from the light and the turnings.
I would have really liked to hear from Michelle, what she thinks, what her vision for all this, the signs are.
She has
She's
seen
approved it.
She's approved it.
She loved it. She loved the
No, but
placement
I'm
and,
talking about the whole front of the building sign, which we were talking about last meeting. You know, when the restaurant comes, and here comes another, it's gonna be an argument.
yeah, that's not.
That's
yeah,
really
a-
not part of our
Right.
permit, so
Right.
I have no way to control that. And Michelle and Monica has no way to control that, because it could be ways down the road.
This is just part of a project. It's
Sure.
not like it's a standalone building with a sign. This has been an ongoing project
Mm-hmm.
that we've been taking into consideration all along, so.
Of course. I'm
You
just
know, It's
saying.
my right to ask these questions, you know, because otherwise we're gonna be back here arguing with a restaurant owner that there's no room for a sign, and that's gonna be a problem, so.
Of course.
I'm just trying to.
I'm not saying you don't have a right to ask the questions, I'm just saying they're
To them.
beyond the purview of this
It's not-
application and beyond our control.
It's not beyond your control, because Michelle is your landlord, so it would have been, I'm just saying, it would have been nice to have her take on this, you know? What she's thinking for the next space that she's renting out, like, how's she gonna handle that when they say, well, wait a minute, they're telling me I can't have a sign out front. That's gonna be a problem if she's trying to lease that place out, so, you know.
Well, and I went back and I read the Sweet Birch application and the minutes of the meeting. And, I mean, it's not, like, again, it's nothing to do with them, it's the overall building.
Right.
And it says future tenants cannot have signs placed on the building. That's what was voted on after the Sweet Birch one.
Right, because we were talking about we were gonna have to consolidate signs, like Lucy said last week, maybe there has to be a sign up front with the 3 businesses that are on the bottom floor, I don't know. You know,
But
Yeah.
we can talk about that part later, because it's really not their,
yeah. I mean, I love this sign, I just.
No, we get it.
I just been sitting on these boards so long, I know what happens when there's all this gray area. We're back here arguing about this stuff that could have, you know, somehow we could have talked about it first.
Yeah. All right, other comments or questions?
I just want to say thank you. I know that you didn't have to meet for this continuance
Yeah.
and until next month, and that would have put my licensing, my permitting, and all the things another month behind. So I want to say thank you for coming in
On this
when you didn't
beautiful
have to.
When do you
Yeah.
plan on having this?
I keep saying June. I keep saying something's going to happen in June. We're planning for June.
I'm just
June,
curious.
July,
June.
how about June, July?
Well, June. I'm
The
planning on
JJ.
June. I'm planning on June. So thank you very much for making this part possible.
Sure. Yeah, we do what we can, but we wouldn't have been able to do it if you hadn't provided the signed information
Yep.
in a timely manner, so.
Yeah, no, thank you for being, explaining what was needed
Yeah.
in more detail.
Of course. If the board doesn't have any other questions, I would suggest that we vote to close the hearing. I don't need any additional information. I'm not sure if anybody else feels like they do.
Nope.
Can we get a nomination to close the hearing for application 2204 Wallingford Village Market LLC?
Can I make a motion to close?
Yes, you
and I'll
can.
second it.
Second. All in favor to close the hearing, application 2402, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the hearing is closed and we're officially all done taking testimony. You've provided everything we've asked for, so the way that this works next is that we have 45 days to make a decision. So that will come probably from the interim zoning administrator, who is Julie, because Erica has recused herself. So you can expect to hear from the town in that time frame.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Awesome,
you for
thank
your
you.
time. All right. So I think that we would then, we can either go into deliberative session or discuss now, or how would folks like to do it? Do we want to go into deliberative session?
Yes.
All right. Can I get a motion to go into deliberative session?
Are we going into deliberative or executive?
Well, isn't it, we've called it deliberative session in the past, and that has been where we recess for a moment and then come back out. So that's how we referred to it before.
Right.
So I think it's deliberative.
Well, deliberative is that.
Yep, so,
Definitely.
It's deliberate.
Executive is when we go
Very
into.
deliberate.
did I say executive?
No.
Okay, deliberative is what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
So can we get a motion to go into deliberative session?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Joe first. Second. All in favor of going into deliberative session, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are entering deliberative session at 7:27. So at 7:28, we've come out of deliberative session. I think we all agreed to that, right? And the vote. And now we're going to we're going to review the minutes of 3:20 and vote to approve or amend those. So did anybody have edits to those minutes? I have them here, Dave, if you want to read them.
I couldn't hear, what'd you say?
We are now taking edits for the minutes of March 20th.
My only concern is on page 2 of 3, when we approved the minutes.
Yeah.
In those sections, whenever any changes are made, should be reflected in the minutes.
They should be reflected in the
Yeah,
minutes.
so, because that's the only way Erica can correct them.
Yes, so who had,
Well, I'm gonna look and see which ones they were.
okay, because that was the one thing that I requested, was that the folks in the room have the amended minutes. And then we can give those
Okay,
to
there
Erica.
weren't any on November that I see. Did you see
No, I
any in
agree with
November?
that.
But in the January ones, it was,
There were a few.
yeah.
And do you have the amended version?
No, because I don't have any access to change it.
No, I just need your edits
Oh, okay.
to give to Erica.
You want to just take my,
That would be great, yes.
okay, so, let me see. I think that the only one that was of importance was that every place that it said setback had to have 10 feet in front of it. So you want that?
I would. And then we will pass that on to the zoning administrator to amend.
Okay,
And did we want that warranty deed instead of easement?
Well,
Or did we- oh.
It was, the word easement
Oh,
was
okay.
set. It wasn't, even
Okay.
though it was a warranty deed.
That's the only two
Yeah.
things I had written down.
Yeah, and in the February one,
We had, on page 3, we had a correction.
yeah, the word not.
The word not shouldn't have been in there. And on page 4, we had a J in front of Burkett on section 6. And then on the bottom one,
Let me give it, did you write those on yours?
Beth and Jill agreed.
Okay, because I have the correction for the not.
Okay. If you have a.
Oh, you have that correction on that one
Let
too?
me see, I don't know if I did the J for Burkett, where is that?
Yeah, so I
Right,
think.
right there, you have it.
Okay, J,
Yep. And then the That one,
yeah,
yep, you
yes.
had that one, and that's the only ones I have then.
Yeah, 'cause
I would take Beth's full copy of just your edits.
You have them all in there?
Yeah, just
Okay,
the,
good.
I'll grab them after. We just have to give them to Erica.
Yep,
Okay, so that's clarified. Can we go back to the minutes of 3:20?
320. Oh, I was reading that.
Okay, let's see.
Two-thirds of the way down says member of the public, Jay Duda, offered that she was her. Okay, so then down it says, Jay Duda wanted the board to conditionally approve a sign. I think it should say to meet regulations, not that meet. What do you think?
Whereabouts are you on that?
Page 2,
Yep, sorry, right
right
below
in here.
your,
Oh, okay.
Joyce Berger asked about traffic and parking. The next paragraph down. What do you think? Should it say to or that meet? Approve a sign to meet regulations or
Yes.
that meet regulations? What do you guys think?
Well, it should either be that, approve a sign that to meet regulation, or approve a sign that meets.
Meets. Yes.
I like meets better.
Yes.
Okay, yep,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and then, under 9, the third paragraph. Well, we already fixed it in the other one, so I guess that is what was said there. I'm all set.
Okay.
All right, down under any other business? The 45-day limit DRB decision had passed yesterday, however, the permit was approved because members have not received the letter. I didn't think we said it was approved. It was still in limbo.
Yeah.
'Cause we hadn't
Well,
received-
technically, the failure to act is an approval.
But we couldn't act without the condition was that we were.
But I
received a
think
letter.
that was a condition of approval, but if you never approved it, then it technically was approved. If nobody ever signed anything, a failure to act within 45 days equals an approval. I think that's the trouble that caused.
And that's just on our side, not on his side?
That's on our side, because I don't know, I wasn't here, but my understanding of the way that the rules work is that after the close of a hearing, we have 45 days in which to render a decision, and if no decision is rendered and signed, the application is approved by default.
But if there's conditions, we can't
But
make
there
a
wasn't
decision.
but there wasn't an approved permit with a condition. Do you know what I mean? So since you didn't approve an application that had a condition for him to meet, he did not have to meet any condition because there was no permit ever issued.
But then further on, we agreed that, we recommended reaching out to the Vermont League or the zoning administrator for guidance on how to proceed. I'd like to have that clarified by,
Yeah, me too.
I think you can, because I don't think we know, but that's my interpretation of what that situation is
But
that,
he put us in a position where we're in a holding period because he wasn't.
And we shouldn't have to babysit to ask him for it.
I'm not babysitting.
however, that he could say we erred in closing the hearing without getting the information he was requested to provide and closing the hearing. Kind of put ourselves in a, do you know what I mean? That's one reason we continued the hearing today, is I think that by, and because you didn't issue an approval with a stipulation, this is just I recommend reaching out to Vermont,
Yeah, please.
because I don't know, but that's my understanding of how it works once you close it, is you have 45 days to act. I'm trying to find it in our zoning bylaws, but I'm having a little trouble seeing exactly where it is. So, how would you change the wording on that?
No, that's what we said, wasn't it?
I'm open to edits, Jill, if you've got, edits to that section.
I think it should say there was question
Okay.
whether this was approved or not,
Okay.
based on he didn't meet the conditions.
But I don't think we can answer that now.
The
No, I
permit was, okay, however, it was questioned if the permit was approved. It was, it was questioned that the permit was approved because members had not received the letter. Does that,
No, I think the question was, what's the status of it?
okay, was just in past history.
We have to eliminate however the
How about-
permit was approved.
How about we take out that sentence?
Okay,
That's, and passed yesterday, period.
okay.
The letter was supposed to be a condition of approval. And we take out that from however to members had not received the letter, that whole second part after the comma.
Yes.
Okay? You can do that.
Yeah. And then
What
the
you're
rest
looking for is
we-
on page 11, the 45 days.
Oh, thanks. But we can follow up with that later. Any other edits to the minutes of March 20? All right, can we get a motion to approve the minutes of March 20th as amended in this discussion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved as amended. And now we can move on to deliberative session. All right, can we get a motion to go back into deliberative session?
I make a motion to go back into deliberative session.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, 7:39, we will re-enter a deliberative session.